Why do you need a librarian villager? I'm going to show you everything you need to know about trading with a librarian. To make a villager a librarian, you need to give him a lectern. The librarian has some of the most important trades, including enchanted books, but even more. There are a lot of amazing trades. So let's take a look. Starting with the Novice Trades, Bedrock Edition gets this one guaranteed, plus one of these, while Java Edition gets 2 out of these 3. First is the paper trade. That's 24 paper for 1 emerald. This is an amazing trade. It is great if you have a sugarcane farm. You can profit quite nicely with this one. Next, for between 5 and 64 emeralds and a book, you can get an enchanted book. Now, the more expensive it is, usually the higher it is, but it can be quite random. I have received very, very expensive book quite cheaply. So keep re-rolling. Now that's one thing you can do. Just keep breaking this until you get that novice book trade that you want. Now next up is this one here. 9 emeralds for 1 bookshelf. Now this is a good trade because you are able to make the bookshelves without having to gather all of the materials, which can be time consuming. But here you get them automatically, especially if you like to decorate or make enchantment setups. Now on to the Apprentice Trades. In Bedrock Edition, you get the first one guaranteed, plus 1 of these 2. In Java Edition, you get 2 out of 3. So first is the book trade. That's 4 books for 1 emerald. That's actually not a bad trade, but usually I would use the books for these trades. I would keep them and I would not do that. I would even enchant the books. And here, this is exactly the same as that trade. Between 5 and 64 emeralds plus a book gets you an enchanted book. It's a different book, most likely, than that one. And down here, this is 1 emerald for 1 lantern. This is an amazing trade because you don't have to use up any coal or iron, and you can make as many lanterns as you want. Now on to the journeyman trades. Just like those 2, the first one is guaranteed for Bedrock Edition plus 1 of these 2, and Java Edition gets 2 out of 3. So first is the ink sack trade, which is 5 ink sacks for 1 emerald. Now, unless you have a squid farm, this is unlikely to be used very often. I don't think this is a must-have at all. And here is another enchanted book trade, which is exactly the same as the others. 5 to 64 emeralds and a book for an enchanted book. And finally, we have 1 emerald for 4 glass. This is a great trade as well. You don't have to go out gathering sand for this. You can just trade for it. Very valuable trade. On to the expert trades. This is a little bit different as there are 4 trades. The first one is guaranteed in Bedrock Edition, and then you get 1 of these 3. Java Edition gets 2 out of 4. So at the top, now this is a kind of a strange one. We've got book and quill. It's 2 books and quills for 1 emerald. However, in Java Edition, it's discounted automatically to 1. In Bedrock Edition, you will have this. You'll have 2 of these. So 1 placed in each slot to get the 1 emerald. It's an odd thing in Java Edition. I'm not sure why, but these do not stack. Next up, again, we have another book trade. So 5 to 64 emeralds and a book for an enchanted book. And here, this is 5 emeralds for 1 clock. I don't know how often you make clocks or get clocks, but I usually only ever have 1, so I don't think this is a great trade. And down here, 4 emeralds for 1 compass. Again, I don't often use compasses except for 1, unless I'm making maps. There is that. But this is usually not a very popular trade. And finally, we have the master trade. There's only 1 trade, and this is a big one. This is one you absolutely want to have. 20 emeralds for 1 name tag. Name tags are extremely important, especially if you want to keep certain mobs. Name tag them and they won't despawn. That is important. And it also allows you to keep track of who's who. This trade is guaranteed for every librarian. So let's take a look at what this librarian has. It does have the paper trade. Now, the first enchanted book is a channeling book, which is okay. This is discounted, but only because I traded so many times to get it to master. Next pair of trades, we do have the book trade plus looting 3. This is a nice trade, very good. Next, of course, we get the ink sac trade plus lure 2. That's okay, not a bad trade. And then the next ones, of course, as you can see, the book and quill trade is discounted to 1, but this one for 11, normally 14 emeralds, is Silk Touch. Very nice trade. And of course, the name tag trade. Now remember, if you are looking for a specific book, keep on breaking the lectern and replacing it, and eventually you will get the trade that you want. But make sure that you do not trade with the librarian, or else the trades are locked and you can never change them again. The librarian is probably the most popular villager to have. Absolutely want to get it for the enchanted books. But what trades do you want the most with the librarian? Let me know in the comments below. Check out the video on the left to learn more about the lectern. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.